This is currently what the Perth rental crisis looks like. I wanted to check it out for myself, so I found this 3x1 for rent and went to the open home. I was first there, and then people started turning up one after the other. And they just kept coming and coming. I couldn't believe it. There were cars parked everywhere up and down the road. There must have been 50+ people at the home open. Is it time to buy your own home and say goodbye to renting?
Okay, listen to this. Listen, okay? Average Canadian income, $54,000. Median Canadian income, $41,000. Average home price in Canada, $720,000. Toronto now. Average income of 25 to 34-year-olds in Toronto, $54,000. Median income of that same group, $44,000. Average home sold price in the GTA, Greater Toronto Area, $1.2 million. Lastly, average GTA condo sold price, $750,000.
No one that works a full-time job should be facing homelessness. And that's what my family is facing right now. Our landlord gave us a 30-day notice to sell our home that we've been in for 8 years. And if you know, we're in a housing crisis right now. And we can't find a home to live in. So after this weekend, that's it. We're going to put everything into a storage unit and be done. And be homeless. Because we cannot find substantial housing, okay? And the issues that we're facing are every single rental property is, oh, you need to make 3 times to 4 times the rent. Come on, that's like unrealistic. The other one is, oh, your credit score needs to be like 700 plus. Again, unrealistic. If I had all that criteria, I would go buy a house. Like, I would not be trying to rent anything right now. And I guess I'm just feeling like very frustrated because there is a big issue in this country and it needs to be fixed. Something needs to be done. And on top of that, like, let's talk about how all these rentals are like $1,500 and they're like shitholes. They're not even decent. Nothing is updated in them. Everything is old. So much to the point to where now my family is being resorted to being shoved in a small apartment with our 3 kids, our 2 cats, and our 100-pound German Shepherd. That's a problem because we work full time. We should not be forced into an apartment because we're literally being outbidded by all of these other people at these rental properties. It's like you go to a rental property, you put an application in, and so does 30 other people. And they literally just pick out of a hat who gets the house. It's insane. And something needs to be done.
So you can't afford a house, so then you need to rent. And the rental prices are so beyond astronomical because you're paying for someone's mortgage and someone who perhaps has multiple properties and you know you'll never get in and you also don't have any security. So you can be kicked out at any moment. I've got mates who are having their first, second children and are in places where they don't know, how do you do a catchment area? How do you work out where you're going to send them to school if you don't know where you're going to live? And these rental increases are just suffocating and they're not indexed on how much more we're earning. So there is an enormous amount of resentment, I think. I think the thing that makes the most sense to me is reading a bit about vacancy tax and sort of looking at houses that the fact we have potentially 1 million houses that are empty and then we have a whole lot of people who can't find housing just seems the maths isn't mathing for me.
Like children to parents, they run, mummy, daddy, government, take care of me. Take care of me, government. Government's the answer. Government is not the answer.
Wow, I mean, firstly, full credit, that is probably the most obnoxious man I've ever seen. And for landlords, that's quite a high bar. So, well done him. But secondly, like, what do you think a housing crisis is? A housing crisis has been caused by governments, by society, whatever you want to blame, but we do not have enough houses in the country. And what that means is the younger generations who have the least amount of capital, they can't buy those houses. And on top of that, because there are so few of them, the prices keep rising. And so people like him are buying up loads of the properties. So A housing crisis is a crisis. So you can't just sneer and go, oh, mummy, daddy, government. Yes, of course the government should be helped. Forget government should help. It's the government's job to solve this. So I don't really understand these people. He owns 25 houses. I would very much argue he is part of the problem of what's causing it. But we don't have enough houses. We do need help. So I just don't get why he's being such an arsehole about it. Like, he's got very lucky and sort of capitalised on what I think is a crisis, and I think he should be capitalising on it. But, each to their own. I don't get it. I don't get these people. I really don't. Fuck them, really.